It is season 4 of So What's New in the Biscuit Tim. I'm Sam.
And I'm Jess. We are back. Sorry, guys. I just picked up a mug. You think I'm new to podcasting. I am, as you can tell, I am losing my voice, but we are here. We are so excited to be back. As you may have seen on the Instagram, Sam and I not only share a podcast, but almost share a birthday. So we thought, what better birthday present to ourselves than to start season 4 with a bang and just kick off. We're so excited to be back, aren't we?
Yep, it was 3 days ago that we planned season 4, and here we are recording episode 1.
Yeah, we're taking a new approach to this season, aren't we, Sam?
Yeah. We're going to be brave. We're going to be unfiltered. That's what we're naming season 4. We're going to disagree agreeably. We've decided. We're going to
borrow that from the rest is politics, and we're going to disagree agreeably. But I think also it's not necessarily about us disagreeing. It's more about making space for those conversations as well. One of the things we learned from last season is how much you guys loved our episode where we just let rip a little bit with our actual thoughts and opinions, because that's the point of this podcast, is to give us a space to chat and a space to be honest and a space to really talk about our experiences. Like, we're not trying to sell you anything, as one of my lovely YouTuber comments said, so thank you for that. We are here. The nice side effect of that as well is possibly less preparation, but it's kind of fun, so possibly more editing for Sam. We'll see. We'll see how we go.
But I think what's great is we've decided we're just going to bravely ask people that we'd like to come on the pod as well. And there is something exciting coming in March. It is the season of bravery, I would say, isn't it? I think that's,
It's the season where we're shooting our shot, definitely. We have the most exciting announcement coming your way very soon. We cannot wait to tell you, but I think we can say it's at the end of March.
Yep.
And
it's something we've never done before.
Hints we can give.
It's something we've never done before. Neither of us have ever done.
We can.
And we can say,
and it's something you can be part of.
Yes, that's what I.
That's the other hint. You can actually be in it. Oh, great minds. We're on a wavelength there. No, we're so excited. We're so excited for this season, and actually I think we had such a great time. We went out for lunch. We thoroughly annoyed the restaurant by being like, we need a table big enough for all of our notebooks, thank you. And we sat there, we had a lovely 2-course lunch and just planned basically the whole of season 4. So maybe that's what we have to do every time.
We were the last people
we
there. I had to go out.
This was at lunch.
I had to go out and run the high street to move my car because the free parking had run out.
She did, and it was very noble. It was really funny because we were talking about it. She was like, "Oh, well, Sam goes, oh, well, you might have to pay so I can go move the car." And I was like, "Well, do you know what? Our mains have been about half an hour, so let's do it now." And of course, the second she left, her food arrived. But you had a salad.
So. Yes, a very delicious goat cheese and beetroot salad. So we were all good. But yes, I was quite warm when I got back. I did jog part of the way. You'll be proud to know, not the whole way, because I'd already had stuff.
I was incredibly proud. I was particularly. There was a great moment when I was on my own. I didn't actually tell you this. On my own in the restaurant. Obviously, your food was there. I was quietly eating my steak while reading with one hand, because obviously I always have a book on me. And the girl came over and she goes, "Is everything all right with your food?" And then she just had this expression on like you'd left after seeing your food. And I was like, she's gone to move the car. Like, it's fine. She'll be back. She goes, "Oh, good." It's really funny. I was like, sweetheart, it's not that bad. Like,
I've just rewatched Gilmore for the 4th or 5th time. How really Gilmore are you, carrying a book everywhere you go?
Yeah. Of course. Although I rewatched Dirty Dancing last night because it was my turn to pick for Sunday film night. And I always forget Kelly Bishop is in Dirty Dancing, just being an absolute icon.
Yeah,
she is. She's just there as the mum, just being an icon in the background. I'm obsessed. I love Kelly Bishop so much. I sometimes on Instagram get those compilations of her in Gilmore Girls and all of the things she says, and I just love her. She's just great.
Yeah. I was thinking, Jess, because we're now on season 4, there may be people listening who don't know us,
Yeah.
do you think we should just very quickly should we say about each other? Should I tell everyone about you and you tell everyone about me?
Oh my God, that's fraught with danger. Let's do it. I love it.
Okay, I'll start then.
You start.
So Jess is known in much of the sewing world, Instagram, YouTube, and on you've got a blog, haven't you, called Sew What If I Sew. Jess has been in the arena for many, many years. I want to say 6 or 7, am I right?
Yeah, I think 6. Yeah, 2026. So yeah. I've been sewing longer, but I've been online with it for 6 years.
She has always given her truthful opinions on pattern reviews, which I think is what people have always loved about her. Jess is currently
not the pattern companies, but people.
but people. Jess is currently working on a PhD and doing an amazing job and teaching at the same time and sewing, and she sewed her own wedding dress, and just an awesome person. So there you go. That's a little thing about Jess.
Thank you so much. You are very, very kind. I have the privilege to host this podcast alongside Sam, who is Sequin Girly on Instagram and on YouTube. She is the most committed person on YouTube. She does fantastic videos. Lots of you will know her for her sewing adventure videos, which I love because she goes to all the fabric shops that I physically can't get to and tells me what they're like. And she does that for, I want to say 9,000 of us.
Yeah,
she does that for at the moment, which is incredibly cool. Sam also has her own little YouTube community. She is on Instagram. You have been on YouTube, I want to say 4 years.
Not quite. I'm just coming up for 3.
3 or 4?
3.
For 3. God, honestly, the fact it's like 2026 is not quite computed yet. Sam also runs the Southern Social, which is, I'm biased, but one of the best socials. It is a fantastic community, and very occasionally I pop along and they are just the nicest people. So if you are in the South, you must come along. All details via the Southern Social Instagram. Yeah. Sam is also one of the most creative people I know. She is covered in beautiful tattoos. She makes incredible Lego, and she is just the warmest and best person. She also has made too many quilted jackets and has to be stopped. So she is a fantastic podcast partner, and I am very, very grateful to have you.
Very kind. And can we just take a minute for the fact that I did not buy that quilted jacket I saw in the charity shop on Saturday?
No. But we must also take a minute for the new listeners. Sam, it's going to sound like an AA meeting. How many quilted jackets do you have?
I think I've made 12 now, but I have given 3 away. So.
Okay. So we're down. We're back in single figures, which is probably a good thing. What I really like is that Sam stores her jackets on the back of her downstairs bathroom door, and there are so many. It's quite hard to be in the bathroom, and I really enjoy it. It's kind of like going into Narnia.
It is. Or do you remember Bramley Hedge?
Yes.
I feel it's like Badger's Burrow kind of thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's very cozy.
Yeah.
I'm sure it helps your heating bill as well. It's basically insulation. But it is fantastic. And you must watch all of her vlogs. Literally, sometimes I have people, if I do anything quilting related, and they message me and they go, I want to make a quilted jacket. And I go, well, I know a woman you should speak to about that because she will have recommendations for you. Go and watch her YouTube. But no, it is crazy to me that we are four seasons in. We've been doing this podcast, I want to say, for 2 years.
Yes, I was looking it up earlier because I was writing something. Yes, it's been 2 years. We launched it January 2024.
24. Yeah, 24. And a lot has happened in that time. And it's kind of crazy, but we have to say also a huge thank you to our returning listeners for listening and for supporting the podcast. You guys are the best community, and you leave the best comments, and you send us the best messages, occasionally unhinged, and we love them. And we're really, really excited for our super secret project at the end of March, because hopefully it's a way that we can give back to some of you guys as well and really get you involved. So stay tuned.
Living bravely. That's what we're doing.
We are. So to kick off our season of Living Bravely, we are going to do our ins and outs. So the concept of ins and outs is we are saying what we want more of in 2026 and what we want to leave behind in 2025. We've each got 2 in each category. We're going to go through, we're going to share them, we're going to discuss them, we're going to see how we feel. And then we're going to introduce a slightly new segment at the end of the podcast where each time one of us is, or both of us, depending how we feel, is going to bring something that we've seen that we think's cool or that we want to discuss, or sort of a show and tell, I think. Because we're both sort of in vaguely teaching related backgrounds. So we're going with a show and tell vibe, which I quite like. Although if I tried to do that with my university students, they would just stare at me blankly. Because they'd be like, why are you talking to us? So we're going to do that. It's going to be really, really fun. Have you got your ins and outs, Sam?
Mostly in my head. I think we'll be fine. Don't worry.
Nice. Do you want to start with your outs, what we're leaving behind, and then finish with our what we want more of?
Okay, let's do it that way. We'll finish on a high. Okay, so out for me this year is buying a lot of things. So I am doing less buying in general. That's out for me this year. So that's from, I'm not calling it fabric ban, I'm not calling it no buy, because I just don't think there is a reason to make anything hard or like sort of difficult so we can beat ourselves up mentally or anything like that. I think that actually just saying low buy. So like I did buy one thing when we went on Saturday, but I didn't feel that I'd missed out by only buying one thing. And the thing I bought was like, it wasn't planned, but I knew I wanted that thing. And so I've got plenty of fabric, I've got plenty of haberdashery, and so it's about enjoying what I've got. And so yes, less buying, lots of buying is out. Do you want to do one before I do my other one?
Yeah, so I'll give you one of my outs. One of my outs for 2026 is buying 15 quid patterns that have 3 seams. No, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm sorry. I just think it's such a waste of my money. I think it's exploitative. I do not like it. And for a reason I will come on to a little bit later, this is my year of acting in accordance with my values. That's kind of what I want to focus on a little bit this year. But I really, really think that in line with one of my goals for this year, which is to I suppose, buy from and engage with at least 5 new indie pattern designers to me. So not like new as in new on the market, but ones I've never used, which I know someone I'll be asking about. And it will be you.
I've got
but yeah, I guess I just... But it feels like it's one of those things to me where, you know, when people go, oh, I hate the government, and then it turns out they don't vote. And you're like, oh, so you're just moaning and not actually doing anything about that.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about this, where it's like, actually, one of the things I can do is stop buying those patterns.
Yeah, but find alternatives.
Exactly. Yeah. And supporting patterns that are complex and interesting and well drafted and exciting. Yeah. So yeah.
I think it's really tricky.
Out for 2025.
When we're saying what's out, because of the nature of you and I, we're almost then talking about what's in for us at the same time.
Exactly, but I've got specific ins this year that podcast listeners are going to be proud of.
Yep.
Okay, give me your second out.
My second out is an out that has been a growing out. It's not just a 2026 out, but I'm getting further and further towards it, and that is buying anything from big businesses, particularly ones run by billionaires. So I know I've gone on about this before, and if you are a long-term listener, you'll be like, oh, she's still going on about it, because it's still true. So I am about to delete the Amazon app from my phone because I don't want to even think of it as an option. And part of that out is breaking that cycle of needing it right now. Because actually, do I? Like the item I found at the weekend, I could have hopped on the Amazon app. I probably could have got it £4 cheaper. I could have had it here the next day. But do I really need to dye a pair of jeans the next day? No, I don't. I've got plenty of trousers. I've got plenty of things to wear. None of this is urgency. So I think the out is that this sort of big business capitalism sense of urgency that's not true. We've been conned for many years now to believe it is true. Do I really need a zip for tomorrow? No, I've got something else I can wear. It's not. even if it's something I plan to wear, it's okay. I have other things. And I think today I wanted some nice fountain pens, and I kept scrolling on Google until I found a company. Then I looked them up and then I bought them. Okay, it might have taken me 10 minutes longer than just pressing the button on a particular app, but I now know that someone in the UK who pays tax is getting my money. And so, you can't, it is a progress, not perfection situation. You can't do it in one go because the world is not set up to make this easy, but we can do it.
No,
So
God,
that
no.
is my out, is money going to the wrong people and sense of urgency all wrapped into one there. So.
No, I love that. And I think that's really, really important because, as you say, there is a sense of urgency that we have cultivated about things. And I think that it just doesn't actually apply to so much of the stuff we apply it to. Like, you don't need that much stuff the next day.
Yeah.
There's obviously it's convenient.
Antibiotics. That's maybe the only thing I can really think of. Yeah, and maybe toilet roll if you're completely out. Yeah.
I've bought emergency next day furniture from Argos before, which really was emergency when things broke, like when we broke our bed. But there aren't actually that many things if it's like a considered purchase.
And as part of that out, it's not me making any judgment on anyone else's decision making.
No,
the fact that
this is your out.
Exactly, this is my out, and I don't want anyone sitting out there thinking, but you paid £4 more for something. That's a choice I've made because I'm on a low buy. And I appreciate that for other people, best value might be the decision that affects them. That might be their in. So just wanted to put that caveat there. So.
No, and I think that's actually really important to say because I don't think enough people talk about that, actually. I think there's a lot of eco-guilting going on.
Yeah.
And we have to be realistic that there is a privilege here to be able to choose. Like, there are people who will not be able to choose or make that choice because they're driven by cost efficiency and things like that.
Yep.
Totally fine. All we're saying, I think, is that firstly, this is what Sam wants to focus on. But secondly, this is something where if you have the ability to make those choices, it's a good thing to think about.
Yeah.
And how it fits into your life.
Because that's one area you can do it in. It doesn't have to be all encompassing. So.
Yeah, exactly. So my second out for 2025, I have talked about this on Instagram, talked about this on YouTube, and I'm bringing it. No, out for 2025.
No, you're not going to do it.
So I'm leaving it. Oh, yes, I'm leaving it in 2025. I've stuck those two together in my head. Sorry, guys, I'm actually not very well today, so we are on a roller coaster in this episode.
Yeah.
So, out for 2026, being left in 2025 is rubbish fabric.
Yeah.
And this has been driven by two things. And one of them is how many me-made garments I have had to get rid of. Because they have shrunk. And I'm not talking like they've shrunk widthways. I'm talking length. I have lost 5 inches off dresses. I'm not even kidding. Stuff that used to be ankle length is by my knee. And before anyone starts yelling at the podcast, oh, you have to pre-wash your fabric, I did.
Yeah.
This is stuff I've had for years and has shrunken every single time it's been washed. And I know I'm not going to name the brand, but there is a correlation on the fabric. So we're leaving cheap viscose where it is. I know, again, there's going to be people saying it's great for twirls. We'll come to that in my ins, but I'm not doing wearable twirls anymore. I have a whole video about this because they never get worn. For me, anyway, they never get worn. And because they're wearable, I don't put as much effort in. And I tend to use cheaper fabric that doesn't go with the rest of my wardrobe, and then it's just wasteful. So for me, I don't mind if I buy way less fabric. That's totally fine. But I just want it to be better because there's nothing more upsetting than spending ages on something and it's so beautiful and then it's just not wearable anymore. So I'm on a bit of a crusade about fabric quality this year. I'll let you guys know how I get on. But yeah, enough is enough for me, really.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I've been thinking it for some time. I've got enough cheap fabric now for twirls. So if I'm going to buy something now, I'm going to buy better and buy less. And I think that my out of buying so much stuff I think that's where I'll come to after my low buy year. So, you know.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think, I just think it's important to recognize as well, because there's all those memes that are like, oh my God, fabric buying's a different hobby. But we probably shouldn't characterize it as that,
No,
because it means you end up with a house full of fabric you can't use. Yes,
we're gonna
we
come
will.
to
This episode hopefully is a nice way of exploring top level some of the themes we're really going to dive into in this series, and that's kind of fun. So let's go positive. What are your
Right.
ins? Give me your ins for 2026.
In for me, my biggest one is creating creative breathing space. So part of my low buy is doing that, because where I've got lots of things, actually sometimes it can feel a little bit overwhelming. So there is that aspect, which is making a bit of physical space. But the other thing is, it takes me off that conveyor belt of thinking, well, I just bought four more bits of fabric, so I need to keep making. If I'm not bringing things in, I can enjoy what I've got, and I've got more space to be creative mentally and physically. And so it's enjoying the fabric I've got, shopping my own stash, to be creative and enjoying what I've got, getting out, stroking it, thinking about it, but also the creativity then to do other random projects, and I've got some fun ones lined up. So
Okay.
yeah, creating that creative breathing space. For example, like when we went out on Saturday, I just had a great time with you, enjoying looking at things, appreciating things, and you don't have to buy to have a great time.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think it can be hard to think, well, what's the point of going to shops if you're not going to buy anything? Well, actually, we had a lovely time. I was impressing you with my ability to name vintage labels before looking at them.
She was. Honestly, it was very, very impressive. We had a lovely time in multiple charity shops. We went to a couple of fabric shops. Now, I did get fabric, but I felt like it was very considered, because I knew going in I wanted quilt fabric, and that was quite fun as well. Like, instead of just going in mooching and feeling that pressure, we had a plan, and that was nice as well.
Yeah. And
but you're right, like, you don't have to buy to have fun.
No, and I tried on a few waistcoats because I have got something I'm looking for, and it is the thrill of the hunt, and that's why I love charity shops and vintage shopping and things, because actually when I find the one, I will have known I've earned it because I've searched for that thing. When I find it, I'll be like, treasure!
Yeah, she is an absolute charity shop treasure hunter. She really is. It's so impressive to me. But I think that's a really good thing to. It's also quite a nice reframe, because I think sometimes when people do low or no buy years, they restrict themselves in all other areas without realizing it. Whereas I think it's quite nice that you're going, as an outcome of not shopping as much, I want to turn my focus inwards. I think that's quite nice, and like looking at what you have and enjoying it. And I think that's a way of, I think more people could benefit from that as well, sort of appreciating the fabric they have and why they have it as well.
Yeah. And I will be sharing my whole journey through the year on my YouTube, but I am also writing more now on Substack, and so I'm going to write about it as well. So.
Yeah. No, and I look forward to this. I love your blog pieces. They're really fun. Okay. I have a very similar in.
Okay.
So the last year or so, I think we can agree, I have not been my most inspired sewing self.
Yeah, I would say that's fair. Yeah.
I think I had such a huge year of sewing in 2024.
Yeah.
That it actually took me a lot longer than I processed to fall back in love with sewing, like a lot longer than I thought. I did like some really cool emergency projects last year, but I got out of the habit of sewing. So my in for 2026 is having fun and creating a habit of my sewing. So like doing bits of projects, consciously setting aside time to enjoy my hobby because I like it. And I do, because sometimes I do feel it can be a bit conveyor belty. And actually, I enjoy the process of creating and making. I enjoy all of the steps. I like putting invisible zips in. I hate hemming things, but I really like putting zips in stuff. I like looking at a dress and going, I'm just going to cut 3 inches off the bottom of it because it doesn't work. Like, I like that process. So this year and in for me is, having fun and consciously building the habit again and consciously enjoying the little steps. And I'm excited already. Like, I have bought some fabric recently because I'm on a no new clothes year. Like, no new ready to wear clothes.
Yeah.
Again, for the same reason, value wise, I don't agree with fast fashion. I got back into the habit of shopping. I'd like to get out of it again because I feel so conflicted and I really, really don't like it. So we're getting back to sewing. We're getting back to enjoying my clothes. And I have bought some fun, sparkly black fabric to do something fun with because I miss sewing. I'm going to say something that people just don't relate with. And I know, and I'm sorry, lads, but I adore sewing with annoying fabric. You know me. I hate sewing with like plain cotton. Give me your sequins and your lace and your satin and your silk. Like, crack on. Perfect. I'm in heaven. Sam's laughing at me, but it's true, right? Like, I am a pig in muck in satin.
Battle, a positive challenge to conquer.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I would rather have a fight with like beaded chiffon all day than I would sew with a plain cotton jersey. I don't know why. It's just more fun. So I've decided I'm just allowed that. I've got myself a beautiful black sparkly fabric. I'll put it on Instagram when I've fully decided what I'm going to do with it. And I just thought, you know what? Why not? Let's just have fun with it. Let's just create space.
Yeah.
So I hopefully you can hear it. I am getting excited. And that's a good place to be. Right, give me your second in.
Right. So my second in is it's doing the things that move me in the direction I want to go in. So it's quite philosophical, quite profound. But for example,
like it.
make it how do I put, so for example, I have now 2 tattoos booked for February, and although that might not sound like it's about sewing, it is about me being the person I want to be to the best part of me, because again I spent so much of last year procrastinating over them again, that it didn't happen, and also spending money on fixing my car and then buying fabric. And actually if I'd put 3 bits of fabric purchase money aside instead of buying 3 bits of fabric, I could have then got the tattoo. So it is about, I think intentionality. I've had that word previously as well. And I think that I want to have fun. I want to have fun with my sewing. I want to keep doing creative things. I'm very excited about some of the things I'm doing. But also 2026 for me is about making sure that, in the times that I want to spend on things, that I am moving in the direction I want to go in. So, for example, writing more, I absolutely am loving it, and so that's moving me in that direction of the things that I love. And so by not buying fabric and actually enjoying what I've got, that helps me to move into a place of actually I'll have a space on the shelf where I can put projects I'm in the middle of. Because at the moment they end up on the floor or then on the ironing board, and then I have to move them when I want to use the ironing board. So it's
and then they take a tour of your house as they move around. Yeah.
And it can be almost like birds flapping in your face a bit too much. So all of it is sort of summed up in that moving in the direction that I want to move in. And I don't always know what the direction is, but if I do steps that I do, that'll sort of come to me over time as well. So so quite deep and profound. It's not really like sew a pair of trousers, but
No, but I think that's good. And I think both of us have got quite we've got sewing stuff, but we've also got deeper stuff. And I do think that's important as well, because I don't like New Year's resolutions from this idea of that you have to change yourself, because you don't.
And fail at. I don't want that, because that world is hard enough right now. I want things that bring me joy and that I can see little steps and celebrate those things. I don't want anything else that's like, oh great, now I failed at my mission too. That's not what I want.
Well, can I bring you a cool thing I did last year that our listeners might be interested in for this year? Because anyone can do this. So I pick a 1-word theme for the year, or I'm starting like I did last year, and it worked really, really well for me. And I think of it as like a value proposition, shall we say, like something that's going to inform how I live that year. So last year, my theme was adventure because I like going on adventures, but also I like adventure as a mindset because it stops me going, oh, I failed at this, because things go wrong on adventures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Things go wrong, things change, they're unpredictable. So having that mindset really helped. But what I did was I kept a list of all the adventures I went on. So instead of ticking things off a list, I added anything I did that I felt counted.
Yeah.
So,
which I call a ta-da. Like ta-da.
Yes, from the Happier podcast, they call it that.
And Mrs. Hinch does it as well. Yeah.
I went on 62 adventures last year. And I've got them all written down. And I love that. I think it's so cool. And it's like little things like I found a new hill where I live, which was really nice because I just discovered it out of nowhere. Or like I cut off all my hair and got my cute short hair, or our honeymoon, or I did proper karaoke and actually enjoyed it. So, stuff like that, where I felt afterwards, I was like, oh, I can't wait to add this to my list. It's probably the most I've stuck with anything.
Well, because it was a positive thing and you couldn't, it wasn't something to break. It was something that gained momentum, and the more you thought about it, the more you thought about it. So I do that. I have words. Last year my word was authentic. The year before was intentional. And this year mine's a phrase, which is creative breathing space. So I went full on phrase this year.
I love that.
I couldn't distill it to
this year. But I think as long as it's guidable, I think that's fine. Yeah. So this year my word is values, because last year I went through some fairly transformative processes, I would say, without going into too much detail, and it's made me a lot more comfortable in who I am and how I feel about things and what I think about stuff. And I feel like I really want to focus this year, whether big or small decisions, on making those choices in accordance with my values and not making decisions because I'm panicked or because I'm rushed into them or things like that. Like from small to huge stuff, I just want to act in accordance with how I actually want to live my life. And it's probably intentionality as well, really. It's that making choices in a conscious way. I know this isn't sewing related, but I think it's important to share this kind of stuff because
where you buy a zip from and how you want to do a project that you're going to do. So it does it, and I find that's why I like doing this, because it does leak out into everything. Because actually, how we sew and what we wear from what we sew is an integral part of who we are, whether we choose to not think it is or whether we deeply express it. It is part of who we are, even if it's in the neutrality of it. I think it is part of who we are. Yeah.
I know, absolutely. I think as well, there are things I've been thinking about more, and this is a phrase I heard that I really like, and I think it's quite nice in the context of the sewing community, but also in our broader life context. You know how everyone talks about like it takes a village, or you want a village around you? Well, if you want to have a village, you have to be a villager.
Yep.
And that's the thing I've heard recently, and it's really been guiding my thoughts a lot, where it's like, you don't just get that. Like, you have to make the choices, even if you really don't want to go to someone's party. And the thing is, we all have moments where you go, I don't have space for that right now. But thinking about when it's like, oh, well, would I be upset if, like, none of my friends came to this thing because I don't go to anything, so they stopped inviting me, or things like that. Whereas I'm not at that stage, but I think it's important to think about, like, even if it's little things, like calling to check in on someone, or like sending someone a birthday card.
Is that putting your head above the parapet, isn't it? And I think that, like when I 2 years ago set up the Southern Social, I didn't know if anyone would come, but I agree with you. I'd moved to a new area, I'd been living there a significant time, and if I wanted to find my tribe, I needed to find them. They weren't going to come to my house and knock on my door. And it is true,
No, completely.
Kids, friendship. I had this amazing conversation actually with someone at the Southern Social about this. When we're kids, a lot of our friendships are friendships of circumstance. because either we live next door to each other, or our mums are friends, and so we're thrown together, or we've been in the same class for 6 years. And although often there's a commonality to why we're friends, because we both like football or Barbies or whatever it is, there is a friendship of proximity and commonality. When you're an adult, particularly if, like you and I, you've moved around a little bit, you that's not the same. And I've had wonderful friendships through the jobs I've had, but when you leave those jobs, you don't see that person every day anymore, and it does change the dynamic of the friendship. Yes, I still, probably like you do, have friendships from jobs I've had.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's not the same.
No, it's not the same. And it's like mine and your friendship. I took the risk and messaged you because and if I hadn't,
you did,
because you wouldn't have known I existed.
No, which is insane considering she lives 10 minutes up the road from me.
Yeah.
I think you're right. And actually, I do remember, because I am someone who is awful at going to stuff, because I find it, depending what it is, like I'll go out for a drink, I'll go for dinner or whatever. But things where I have to like the Southern Social, where I'm there for like a day, that took a lot of like mental courage. And I say that because I think a lot of people think I'm very outgoing, but as Sam knows, I do kind of struggle in like big spaces where I'm there all day.
You don't have to stay for the whole day. I know, but what I don't want anyone listening thinking, oh, I'm expected to be the whole time. You can come and go.
Oh, no. Sorry, guys, that's very much my perception of what I have to do. So beforehand, I remember being so anxious because I was like, oh God, I normally sew with a glass of wine and my bra with one sock on. I don't know how to sew in front of other people. But I'm so glad I went, because I wouldn't have met you. We wouldn't be 4 seasons into this podcast. Yeah. You wouldn't have come to my wedding. Yeah. I'm so grateful for this space, but sometimes it is really, really hard, and sometimes it's really scary, and you might not want to do it, but it's how you get a community.
But I also think it's about picking the things that work for you. So I know definitely you might find this difficult to understand, but I do really struggle with small talk. So the podcast works for me because we have really deep, meaningful conversations. So it hits all my buttons. And you and I, when we meet, every time we see each other, it's like we haven't been apart. So it's not like we're just filling the silence. But I find it quite difficult going to things where I've just got to have random small talk. I really struggle with that. So for me, actually setting an event up that's specifically about sewing meant that I knew that I could talk to the people there about something I could talk about. So it took away that challenge for me, which when I go to some things I find really hard. You will find me at a wedding helping clear up or something, because I just really struggle.
Yeah. Oh, same here. Like, I'm used to being in charge of stuff as well. So being a guest, I found I'm appalling at. I'm so bad at being an event guest. Like, and it's so hard.
Yeah. So I would say that it's picking the thing that is in your wheelhouse as much as anything else. And I think, and then things go from there, because the great thing about sewing or any hobby is that it means you've got a commonality to talk about. But then inside of that room of commonality, you find other people where you click in other ways. So like having a really deep conversation with someone about friendships, and the fact that both of us actually used to feel bad because we'd hear other people talking about how they were still friends with 5 people from their childhood, and neither of us are. And we agreed that we're not the people we were then. We don't live in the locale that we were then. So actually for us, it didn't make sense.
No, I mean, I've got 2 friends, maybe 2 or 3 from boarding school, like 2 close friends from boarding school. But then I also think that's like, I have no one from before that. I have no one from primary school.
I have no friends still from school. No.
But I think the only reason I still have boarding school friends is because you're used to being apart. You don't get to spend summers or anything together because you all live in different countries. And I think that's probably the only reason, is because from the age of about 13, the habit of calling, or the habit of setting up meetups, that has survived into adulthood. And I think that's, for a lot of people, it's right. You are friends of circumstance, and you are used to being around each other, and that's how your friendship functions. And I'm quite grateful in some ways to have had that behaviour started early, because it's made me better as an adult at going, we're going to do this thing. I think the other thing though, and just I'm saying this in case anyone out there feels the same way I do, sometimes the thing I struggle with is not going to something for the first time. It's that I'll go to stuff and then life will happen and I'll have to stop going for a bit. And building up the courage to go back, I find really, really hard.
Mm.
And I'm sure there'll be other people who feel the same, because I've talked to people about this before. That anxiety of, oh, well, I don't go to that anymore, and now I haven't gone for long enough that it feels weird, and no one will want to see me. It'll all be different people, whatever it is.
Mm.
I haven't been to the Southern Social in like a year and a bit because my diary and life. I'm going to come in February. And if it wasn't you running it and the people who go to it, I'd feel so anxious. Whereas I know it's you and it'll be fine. And like the ladies at Southern Social, great. But the same as my run club. I went to my run club 2 years ago, right through the summer. Teaching started. I had to stop going. Last summer, I was like, well, I'm out of teaching now. They started re-advertising runs. I started going along. And I remember being so anxious. And then I just turned up and everyone was like, oh my God, hey. Went for the whole summer. Sure enough, haven't gone back since teaching started. I will go next summer. I'm just a summer run club person now.
Yeah.
But there's something about knowing that people still want to see you and like you will still be welcomed, and people do build that kind of stuff up in their heads. So if that's what's stopping you.
Do you want to know a little something I do? Is sometimes, for various reasons, at the Summer Social, something in life might be giving someone a wobble, whether that's they haven't been for a while or life is throwing a massive curveball or pile of poo at them. And if I know, they'll either message me or let me know, I'll save them a specific seat. And I'm quite discreet about it. And it means that when they come in, they know who they're sat next to. So obviously, Mary is a legend, and Mary is great at looking after people.
Mary so much.
But sometimes
listen to the episode with Mary on the pod, because she's fantastic. If you don't know who Mary is, icon.
How dare anyone not know who Mary is?
I know, it's almost impossible.
People don't know. Mary and I are all about 20 years apart. It's like 3 generations. Mary and I made friends through me setting up the Summer Social, and she helps me run it now. And she is great, and everybody. She sometimes doubts that people love her, and everybody loves her.
Yeah, she's fantastic. But listen to her episode because she's amazing.
And sometimes I'll save a seat near me or opposite me or whatever it is. And I just think that it's those little things sometimes where you actually know that you're near someone who knows you, or you're near someone who will look after you if you're new. Because you're right, life can make us feel lots of different ways. And I appreciate and understand that. And so that's a really important part of what I do at the Summer Social as well.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Now, I think this has been an incredibly motivational tangent, and I've loved it.
Yes.
But tangent nonetheless. Do you still have one left to go?
Well, I thought I was doing 2, and I've done 2. So...
Oh, then I must have done 2 as well. Fantastic. Yes. Okay. So, do you have anything you would like to share with the pod as your show and tell this week?
I do. My show and tell is a gift I had for my birthday. That if you can remember back, Jess, to when we went to the Festival of Quilts in August, and we watched it. Well, I don't know what you're thinking of, but we watched a show where people were showing garments made of quilted items.
Which was incredible.
Yeah, some people had quilted trainers on.
Yeah.
What is this business? So anyway, I found them, and when I went to the Knitting and Stitch show, what the fabric was there, so I was able to check what size I needed, talk to them about it. So I got the kit for my birthday for my lovely other half, and you're going to love.
Well done.
You're going to love this. So I sent my stepdaughter Tilly, who's now 17, a picture of my presents, and she asked, "What's that?" And I thought she was asking me about the external hard drive. Sorry, boring present, but very useful. And I said, "Oh, it's an external hard drive." And she went, "No." And she sent back a picture with the pit circled. "What's that?" she's asking. And I went, "Oh, that's a trainer kit." And she replied in full caps, "What? You can make your own shoes?" So
that's amazing.
Yeah. She sent me the best gift ever, which was a cat, like a disco cat, saying "mind blown." So, so yes, it will be the year.
I'm so happy for you. You're going to have so much fun.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't follow, there's a great account called I Can Make Shoes. And they run shoemaking courses in London. And that's what I want to do for my 30th, I think. I want to go and like make my own pair of heels. Because it's the whole thing and you can like actually stitch it and mold it. And it was really, really cool. But honestly, Sam was obsessed when we saw the quilted trainers. So I'm so excited for you. Please share the whole journey and like
I will.
our podcast listeners updates.
Yeah.
Much required.
So what
okay, I have something different.
Yeah.
Mine is I'm on my phone so I can make sure I have the name correct. But the account name is Whimsical Lace. I think so. And they are a pattern company from a country. I think Poland, I'm not sure. But they make these incredible sort of vintage style patterns. I'm showing Sam through my screen.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're quite like flouncy and vintage and beautiful. But the reason I want to talk about them is that they have, I think, produced the best response to feedback that I have ever seen. So this reel, I didn't follow them before. This just came across my timeline and I thought it was really, really cool. So basically, they make these dresses with almost like a sort of Bridgerton vibe to them, but they're a bit more modern.
Yeah.
And one of them is like a ruched bust, and then it still goes in under the bust, but like in and out, almost like a princess seam rather than a waist. So it goes all the way down. And it's really beautiful. And then they had someone comment and were like, the extra small, like the comment was, I'm a true extra small and I physically can't do the zip up. And they went, huh, that's really weird. Like, we've never had a negative comment. And do you know what they did? Instead of going, huh, that's weird, and like fully ignoring it, they decided to check all their pattern measurements. So they were like, okay, well, no, like our bust is in line with an extra small bust. Like, they've all been graded properly. So then they added an underbust measurement and realised that the underbust, while the bust was correct, the underbust measurement was an inch smaller than the industry standard for an extra small should be on all of their patterns. And they went, oh, well, clearly that doesn't work. So they've redrafted them and they have now added an underbust measurement to all of their patterns so you can actually choose your size correctly.
Brilliant.
Is that not the best response to feedback?
Yes. That is a genuine, we listen to people who are making our patterns and asking ourselves hard questions. Yeah.
I honestly just thought, I you know, when you look at something because you see the video at the beginning, you see the comment and you're like, oh, is this going to be yet another video telling people they're making your pattern that they're wrong? Because I hate that. Yeah. Like, if someone goes to the trouble to, obviously some people can be very unpleasant. I'm not talking about the really rude ones, but if someone leaves a genuine comment that's like, this just doesn't fit, you should explore why that is. Because the thing is, most people, if a pattern doesn't work, they'll just go, oh, that's a shame. And they won't say anything. Yeah. And you'll never know. So I just thought that was such an honest and open and positive response. And I love that.
Really good. And what I also think it does is, I mentioned this recently, is reach out to the indie pattern person if you're struggling with the pattern and ask them. And I know from when we had Tammy on of Tammy Handmade, she said she's happy to help people. Please be polite when you reach out. Yeah. But to say, I'm struggling with this bit or I can't get this bit to fit, it's okay to say, please, can you help? Or can you explain to me? Because for small indie pattern designers, they know their patterns really well. And they're most of them are really passionate about it. And actually, reach out, ask them. I mentioned Twig and Tail in my video out recently about the 5 indie pattern companies. Twig and Tail have taken the time to watch my video, comment on it, and then reply to some people who were asking questions about their patterns. And one lady said, I really like the look of Twig and Tail, but I'm not sure if they're suitable for Florida, where I live. And Erica, who's one of the Twig and Tail people, replied and said, I work for Twig and Tail. I live in Florida. Let me tell you which patterns I use and which fabrics I use.
That's so good.
Yeah, really good. And really, like, that's a passion for what you do. And that's why I think it's so important to reach out and give them that chance if you're not sure.
I think so. And I also think it's a twofold thing. It's really important to reach out if it's like a weird detail or something to make sure that it isn't a mistake.
Yeah.
But it's also really, really, really important as a small business to not get one negative review and go, oh, well, that person's clearly wrong, and go off on one.
Yeah.
Because they may not be. Like, they are, like, I have had it before where I have tested bits of patterns for people and been like, this doesn't actually fit. I'm not a beginner. And they've gone, oh, well, everyone else said it's fine, so, and then did nothing with the feedback.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, firstly, why am I testing this for you? But, like, I'm not trying to be offensive. Obviously, some people, we have to have the caveat, some people are just incredibly rude. But the majority of people, if they're leading, some people are insane.
Yeah.
But the majority of people, if they're like, this just doesn't fit well, or this is really poorly drafted for me, like, or it doesn't fit the body, or like a classic one is really poorly drafted busts on patterns, which you get particularly in larger sizes, but also if they do like a D in the smaller sizes, generally there are issues with some brands where that's just not been drafted properly.
Yeah.
Like it's like the bigger size has been shrunk. Anyway, I've had it where you go, oh, I'm just not sure about the drafting of this. Or it happened with a pattern as well, where it just didn't fit the model. And all the comments were like, this is crazy. Why have you shared these photos? And the response for the brand was, oh, well, the model was comfortable on the day. And you're like, well, they don't look comfortable.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I just feel like there's a level of self-righteousness we don't need until we've checked ourselves, perhaps.
Definitely.
Or checked
and I think
the issue exists.
And that's why I think the real transparency of the small patent companies who are having really great patent testing. And that's partly why I patent test, because you get to know a company in a way that you don't in any other way, because you get to see how that person thinks, operates, how they listen to feedback. And it tells you. And that's why when I'm recommending a lot of the indie patent companies, they are ones I've patent tested for, because actually that tells me so much about them. And I think it gives you a window and that transparency of these are our testers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love Chalk and Notch. I think Chalk and Notch testing process is one of the best I've ever seen, because they do 2 phases of testing, but the openness and the honesty and the willingness to be like, oh yeah, that's not right. And I just found that so refreshing. I was like, oh, this is great. I loved it. I loved being a part of it.
Watching people evolve a pattern while you're involved in it is phenomenal. It's amazing to see. And also to hear their thoughts about how they designed it. I love it. I won't be doing quite so many this year because I'm doing things to get me the, and that's not one of the things right now. But I do love it. And I'm a little bit sad at the moment not to take them on, because I just love getting to know the designer as well. It's just brilliant. So, well, Jess, I think we should leave it there for today.
Yes, we should. That is a cracking but not too long episode, actually, I think. Looking at the time, that's not too bad. I think we've done really, really well, I think, to keep our initial season 4 thoughts out there. We hope you have enjoyed this episode. We hope you're going to join us for all of season 4, and we hope that you can join us, for our UK listeners. We hope you can join us in March as well for our extra special surprise.
Yeah.
So just as a reminder, you can follow us on Instagram, So What's New Pod. You can email us at sonewbiscuit@gmail.com if you have questions, comments, dilemmas, confessions, whatever it is. And of course, you can follow both of us on Instagram and on YouTube as well. I'm at So What If I So. Sam is
at Sweet Queen Girly, IE on the end.
And you can find us both on all Instagram, YouTube, and of course, please follow Sam on Substack as well, because she writes some fabulous. So we will see you in 2 weeks for our next episode.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. See you soon.
Bye.